Hello, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Transformers The Last Knight Voyager class Decepticon Nitro, or Nitro Zeus as he's called in the movie for all, what, 3 seconds he was in there. But yeah, as you can see, it's a jet. And yeah, it's a jet. It's a very nice black and gray jet. And of course, in the background you can see his box, which, yep, it's a typical Premiere Edition box, you know, just artwork and Transformers and Premiere and Ages and whatnot. Transformers and Voyager class, and they're more CG rendering, nothing really on top. Copyrights and crap on the bottom, and hey, look, there's a toy and other toys you can buy and whatnot on the back. So that's a box real quick. It's a thing that came off the bottom of the box, I guess. And of course, in it, came instructions, which, oddly enough, these ones were a little more difficult to figure out what was going on than the other movie toys I got. I'm not sure what's going on with there, but it might be just the purple versus the red. So it was a little harder to figure out what was going on there, but I got it eventually. But yeah, this is actually a pretty cool looking jet. I'm not sure what kind of jet it is. I'm not really that super well versed in this sort of stuff. I think it might be an F-15. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's a jet. It's blacks and grays with a little bit of red on here in the wing. Decepticon logos. You can see, of course, the robot mode is kind of chilling. This is just a common thing with almost every jet Transformers. Just you can see the robot mode just chilling out underneath. But, you know, it's a jet. It's got landing gear. Only the front folds in and out. But, you know, it's a cool little jet. Whoosh around. It's actually not too bad. Because of the shapes and whatnot of the robot underneath, you can kind of get away with it being kind of like, I don't know, the intakes and whatnot. You can kind of fake it, but again, it cheats a lot, like a lot of jet Transformers. But on the top side, it looks great. It's a great looking jet. The wings you can adjust the tail fins, whatnot, if you want. You can have angled tail fins, although they're supposed to be straight out. The cockpit, as you can see, it's got a clear canopy, and yes, that does open. Curious enough, you look in, there's a slot in there. That looks familiar. Why does that look familiar? Well, quite frankly, this figure, and this is one of the reasons I bought this, it's compatible with Titan Masters from the Titans Return line. That does, in fact, this is clearly something. Yes, that's a Thunderwing there. Yes, it's compatible with Titan Masters. They can sit in there just fine. They'll slot in and everything. That's a thing it can do. It actually slots in pretty well. Yeah, it's a cool little feature. This compatible Titans Return. That's the reason I bought it. That's why I think part of the reason why a lot of people were raving about this figure. And I can see why. So it's a really nice alt mode. And the movie toys, that's the thing, is a lot of the alt modes tend to be nice. So yeah, there's that. It's a good alt mode. I like it a lot here. Anyway, transforming it, as you know, so I flipped up the landing gear. You want to remove these missiles as well. They also go in there pretty good. Because of the shape of this stuff, you kind of have to, when you want to plug it in, you kind of have to angle this missile. You have to angle it underneath and then plug it in. But that's the shape. So yeah, remove the other set of missiles too. So I know parts forming. How dare they? Yeah, so you got to first, from back here, you want to take the tail section right above the little thruster. You want to get your finger in under there and start lifting up. That'll lift this whole section up. Fold that to either side. Fold up like that. And that's done. Part's done. The wings, they're tabbed in multiple places. They're tabbed in here, and there's a little peg right here. And you can see it's already partially unpegged. This wing, for me, this left wing kind of tons tabs really easily. This right wing likes to be stubborn. Thankfully, it just came off real quick on screen. But from there's this little front section. You want to fold that inward, both sides. Fold that in. Then you want to take this vent thing, fold it out, and you curl the wing up. What you want to do, I find, a particular way to curl it up, you want to curl this part forward first and then in there, because this will slot. These little things will slot over this thing right here, this right here. And that kind of curls up into a little thruster backpack thing. This holds it pretty tightly. One thing I want to mention when the instructions tell you to unfold this. If you unfold it outward when you're going back to jet mode, like that, if you go too far, it will unseat itself. Every single time I've gone a little too far, it will unseat itself. It's kind of annoying about that, but not much you can do. But yeah, same thing on this side. Fold inward. Although you're supposed to kind of do the tip. See, there it goes. It comes off really easily. But it also pops on back easily. But you're also supposed to kind of do the wing tips last. Like that. So that's folded up. Then from there, you want to... Back here, these feet are tabbed into the thruster. You want to untab them. And on mine, there's also... On here, you can see there's a little tab right here. See how well looking. Yeah, this little tab right here. This tab right here goes in a little notch right about here. This little notch right here on the leg. On mine, this leg comes out just fine. This leg the tab was too big. I had to sand down this tab a bit on this side. But after I did so, I'm not sure how that is on other copies, but I had to do that, so watch it. If it doesn't tab in all the way, you might have to sand down a tab or two. But yeah, you want to unfold those legs and then rotate them forward like that. And we'll just kind of make sure to rotate them on the right axis or it'll not rotate all the way because there's multiple axes there. But yeah, rotate them forward like this. If it stops, you've got to adjust stuff here at the hip joint. Just get them out of the way, and then this whole assembly, you want to move it out like this. Moves out here. You can adjust as you need to. Yeah, now we're looking at the bottom. I'm going to adjust the camera just a tiny bit. Yeah, right there. So now you can see the robot mode is taking shape. That becomes one arm. The other arm, actually what I want to do is here is this platform. You want to move it down, and this platform here, you move fold that down, fold that one down, make sure it tabs into place, and then rotate the head around. Then down here, take this part and you fold it up out of the way. Then you untab the jet nose cone and you move all this up. This entire assembly rotates up and collapses accordions on itself like that. And you've got the other arm. Yeah, so accordions pretty well like that. It's hard to kind of see. And then you move the leg back down. That's the arms are in place. Then you take the leg halves. See that there are multiple hinges right here. This hinge on this side. You fold those inward and they tab together. See that there's that little tab or big tab right there that goes into a slot over here. Tab together behind, and then you rotate the legs forward. You also rotate the feet forward as such. You can stand them up that way. They are sculpted in A stance. Just a little bit more. If they haven't already, you want to move the shoulder pauldrons inward like that so they're curved. Unfold this hand, extend this barrel. And on this side, what you want to do is you kind of want to get your fingers under here and these gray parts and kind of start separating. The part at the nose, this tab this can hold really tight. This tab right here holds really tight. So just watch it. But yeah, you want to then unfold them like this and fold them up like that. So fold outward and then you move it up like this so it's like that. And then down here, there's these little things out here. Move these out like that. You can also be stubborn. Going back, these can catch right here. This little part right here where I'm pointing can catch, trying to put it back in. Just adjust it slightly if you need to. And of course, take these missiles, and there's little peg holes on the thrusters. Plug them in there. And also you can angle these thrusters. They're on a little notch, but you can angle them out a little bit. They get out of the way of the tail stuff easily. And there you go. You've got Nitro in his robot mode, or Nitro Zeus. I prefer Nitro Zeus just because it's cooler sounding. There you go. Nitro Zeus. So yeah, the Nitro Zeus here is actually a pretty cool looking robot mode especially for a movie toy. I mean he's got his back kibble's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of incorporated because of the way the wings fold up. It's kind of incorporated into the design of the character. Although you do have this big old wing section, just tail fins just hanging out back here. But it's not too bad. I mean, I've seen worse kibble, especially, again, on movie figures. But it's not too bad of a kibble, all things considered. He actually looks pretty nice. I mean, he's got a very muted color palette. I mean, it's pretty much just grays, blacks, a little dot of yellow here, a little bit of red, and some brown down here on the feet. Yeah, so just mostly grays and blacks, though, with also a touch of silver right here. But, yeah, it's actually pretty good. It works pretty well with his color palette. And also, there's a little bit of goldish brown right here as well. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, it works well. The color's broken up because of the placement of the blacks and grays. It kind of breaks up enough, so it's not just a bleh of nothing. So, it's not a bad looking figure. I really actually like it. It's almost like in a way, it's kind of because of the mono eye, which is weird because the movie was definitely not a mono eye. It kind of looks like it could be a movie Shockwave if we didn't already get one. Especially with the guns. But yeah, it's actually, I like how it looks. I also this is one of the better, I guess, movie aesthetic toys too. I mean, you got the little greeblies here, but it's got these big old smooth shin guards and everything, and it just looks pretty good. Again, for a movie toy, it's got pretty good articulation as well. It's got a head on a ball joint, so it can look left and right and up and down a little bit. Mostly down, but up and down, left and right. Can waggle a little bit. Yeah, it can tiny bit of waggle, but not a whole lot. Shoulders move forward and back. Outward. These shoulder pauldrons can get out of the way, so he can do full outward, which is nice, although they can also get caught right there really easily. There's also a bicep swivel. The elbows can move just about 90 degrees forward. They also move back a little bit if you want to have a broken elbow. Wrists do not move at all. The gun, if you don't want the gun out, you can also collapse it if you don't want the gun out. There's that. On this side, same basic stuff, although the elbow does not move 90 degrees here because of the shape of everything. This is how far forward it can bend. It's about a 45-degree angle. So just be aware of that. No waist thanks to his transformation. That means the legs come together. There's no way to fit a waist in there without some excess of engineering. Hips, forward about that far. Back quite a bit. They do kind of get caught on the tail fins, though, so watch it. And outward if they don't unpeg them. So that's another thing is tabbing. This tab is not super good at the hips, so it's easy to accidentally untab them. But he's got some pretty significant outward motion for the hips. They go about that far, a little over 90 degrees. Just watch it. This, at least on mine, I'm not sure how it is on other ones, but these untab super easily. So pay attention to that when you're posing this guy. It can go very badly for you. Thigh swivels though, which is good. Knees, the knees are pretty far up, but they're pretty decent knees. It's about 90 degrees or so. Also, you got these knee guards, which can move if you want them to. You can move the knee guards how you want, fold up. And no ankle articulation side to side, but there is, the foot can go back a little bit. It can go forward and back a little tiny bit. Mostly back, but you can get some poses out of that. And there it is. Again, it's easy because of the tightness of the hip joints versus the loose, not greatest connection on the tab. It's really easy for it to unseat itself rather than actually posing. That's a little frustrating. But yeah, it's a great little figure. And of course, Titan's return compatibility extends to more than just a jetpack cockpit, because this head does indeed come off. It is a Titan's return slot, which this is not actually Titan Master, but it is a slot, which means if you really want, you can do something like, say, take Thunderwing here and plug them in. And now you've got a Thunderwing. And this body works really well with Thunderwing, all things considered. I mean, the color just probably should be more white. But other than that, the general shape and design of this body works actually pretty well with Thunderwing, all things considered. I mean, I almost forgot, articulation-wise, you can also aim these up and whatnot, and aim these up and out and inward and outward a little bit if you want for the little yeah. So you can have those pose and shoot people with the missiles or whatever. So that's another thing. But yeah, it works really well. You can put Titan Masters on here, whatever ones you think fit. Again, Thunderwing works really well with this guy. The head just kind of chills out. This head just kind of chills out wherever if you do that. Again, no Titan Master there. If I recall, there's the other figure, the Cogman Toys Titan Master. I can't remember exactly. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he's got a Titan Master, which means he's compatible with this as well, I think. But yeah, again, this is Titan Master compatible, so you can put heads on there. Again, Thunderwing works pretty well. Again, probably you want to change the coloring, but if you paint this, the actual design works really well with Thunderwing. I'm starting to wonder if that was actually intentional. But anyway, which way, it's compatible, so it's a pretty cool little feature there. Unexpected, but that's part of the reason I think why people like this so much is he works really well as a Thunderwing. But it's Nitro Zeus. He didn't do too much in the movie, but it's a cool toy. It's actually one of the better ones. It's only the third time I've picked up the Last Night movie toy, so I'm not super into that line right now, but I was willing to get this guy because a lot of people were praising it, so I went for it, and I don't regret it. It's a good alt mode. The transformation's pretty interesting. The robot looks great and is compatible with Titan's Return Titan Master, so it's got a lot going for it, and I appreciate it for that. So yeah, I would recommend getting him. He retails for $30, which, yeah, the Premier Edition stuff is cheap or more expensive than the Titan's Return stuff, but it looking like Power of the Primes is going to be up in that price range too, unfortunately. But yeah, if you can get $30 is kind of like yeah, sure, but you can also, a lot of places are selling it for like $24, $25, $26. So if you can find it around that price, definitely for sure worth it, absolutely worth it. But if you find it for like $30 at the retail price, yeah, it's probably go ahead and get it. This guy's in pretty high demand, and I guess. So if you can find him, go for it. It's a good, solid movie figure. It's one of the better ones, I think. So yeah, apparently that's where I'm looking at it. It might be where the magic is for the movie line is generally in the Voyager class. So yeah, this was Decepticon Nitro or Nitro Zeus. I hope you enjoyed it or found this informative, and like, comment, subscribe, all that crap that we always have to do on YouTube, and I'll see you next time with another video review.